off too. So, um, well, welcome to the business professional information session. I'm glad that you were able to attend the administrative office professional one, and I hope to kind of help you see the differences between the two programs and maybe help you decide which one of those two programs might be the best option for you. I'm going to go ahead and I have a little bit of a slideshow presentation prepared, so just a few slides, and then I'd like to kind of focus maybe on some questions that you have as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the traditional slideshow, and then we'll move into just kind of seeing what specific questions you might have. Okay, let me share my screen here. Share screen 2. Okay, so as I said, this is the business professional portion of our information session. My name is Chris Knutson. I'm the business department coordinator for the business professional program. Who you met in the previous one was Tina Solheim, and she does the administrative office professional program. We're basically partners in crime here. We're working together to see both of these programs succeed. There's a lot of actual overlap between the two programs. So I'll kind of explain where that overlap exists and show you where we kind of deviate from one another here in a couple upcoming slides. But I just wanted to start by introducing myself and giving you a little bit of contact information for myself. My phone number there on the screen is, it's actually tied into my cell phone. It's a Google Voice number. It's not my actual cell phone number, but tied in with my cell phone. So if you call or text me with questions, you can reach my phone at pretty much any time, and I'll try to get back to you. If it's a text, I can usually get back really quick. If it's a phone call, I try to get back within about a 24-hour period. So if you ever do need anything, feel free to jot that phone number down and utilize it as needed. My email address is on there as well, if you prefer email. And if you ever, I know you in the previous session you said you were in the Waterloo area, but if you ever do find yourself down here in the Quad Cities, I can guarantee at least 1 hour a day, 10:45 to 11:45. I'll be here in my office, which is 1419 on our Belmont campus. I'm teaching, and sometimes I'm doing other administrative things around the building at other times, but at least during that 1 hour, you can kind of be sure to find me here in my office. So if you ever are here, feel free to stop in and we can have a chat. So kind of like Tina was showing you in the previous session about how Indeed and worked and looking at the different kind of job opportunities and options that are out there in the local Eastern Iowa area. I just pulled a few statistics about why do we even want to look at an associate's degree? What is the benefit of this? And is it going to help me if I don't decide to go on further and get a bachelor's degree? What's the associate's degree going to help me within my career? Well, first of all, it helps kind of round out your job prospects and earning potential, because when looked at a website like Indeed and doing an analysis of those jobs, they found about 1.6 million business jobs, and at least 100,000 or more required at least an associate's degree beyond a high school diploma. So if you hadn't had that associate's degree and only had the high school diploma, you probably would have been ineligible for those jobs. And the way that these systems like Indeed are set up is that if you don't meet the basics requirements that they set, they're oftentimes set up to automatically eliminate candidates from the job pool. And I'm not saying that that's a plus or a minus. The businesses do that because it's quick and efficient for them. But for us as job seekers, if we don't meet those requirements, no one's ever going to look at our application or resume. So this would at least open up in that analysis 100,000 more jobs where the individual would be eligible for those positions. They also went a step further and looked at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and, okay, what is my actual earning potential versus a high school degree versus an associate's degree? And they found that on average, an associate's degree holder earned $6,800 more than that individual without the degree. So it opened up job opportunities, and in general, the average salary was $6,000 to $7,000 more than for those without an associate's degree. So even if you don't plan on continuing on to that 4-year bachelor's degree, this associate's degree can help you in your search for the right job and help you find those opportunities. I also like to emphasize that I know, Andrew, you had said you're a non-traditional student, and some students kind of go back and forth in that phase, trying to figure out, is this going to be beneficial to me? And I just want to bring up the fact that, so the University of Iowa, who used to have a full-time MBA program, they actually stepped back from that MBA program being full-time and really started to understand that businesses were looking for employees that had that mixture of education and work experience. And they really started to appreciate those that had the work experience, and then went on to get their part-time or executive MBAs at that level. And the same is true when it comes to our associates level, that our employers, yes, it does open up doors right out of high school, but it also, our employers are looking at it from the perspective that you've got a real life experience then, that now the things that you're learning in the classroom, you can actually apply these. And so when we talk about them, you get to add to the discussions in the classroom and oftentimes be that voice that has that real world experience that the other students are learning from, but you actually get to integrate your learning into what your needs are in the workplace or into the future jobs that you're looking to expand to. So unlike going directly from high school to the college setting, you now get to take that real world job experience and integrate your learning into how that actually applies to your career. So I think that's a great benefit to your situation as you described it, that now you're going to see in the classroom, oh yeah, I really should pay attention to this because I know where I'm going to use this. This is actually going to be very beneficial to me in the future. When it comes to our course of study here for the business professional program, it's very similar to and set up to the administrative office professional, that our first term and second terms, as set up in the ideal situation, is that term one is a certificate. So if you came and completed our classes that are part of the certificate program, you could walk away with a certificate credential. If you complete the first 2 terms as put in the ideal order of taking courses, you could earn the diploma. So within 2 semesters, you could walk away with a diploma credential. And if you decide to go ahead and continue on and get your full associate's degree or 2-year degree, which is really what a lot of employers are looking for, and the job the job postings are going to ask often say associate's degree, that if you go on for that final year, you can earn your full 2-year associate's degree. So it is kind of a stepping stone program if you follow it as kind of laid out. But a lot of students don't end up following it as traditional. They know they're coming in and they're going to get their associate's degree, and they take classes as they fit in their schedule and in their lives. So yes, you are available to allowed to take them in the order, as long as it's not a prerequisite for a future class. You can take them in the order that makes sense and that the time frames work for you and in your personal schedule. And just like with the administrative office professional, we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes, Tuesday, Thursday classes. And I wanted to highlight some of the modalities that Tina had been talking about as well. So pretty much all of our classes are available either in person or fully online. So you're going to have that option of, if you wanted to do the business professional certificate, a mixture of live online and fully online, that option, just like with the administrative office professional, is available to you. And so the way I have this set up though here is that I differentiate between the classes that are kind of dual between the administrative office professional and the business professional program by the ones that are highlighted in yellow. The ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones that are rather unique to the business professional program, or could count as electives towards the administrative office professional program, but are not required. And so that shows you where the extra emphasis is placed in our program in the business professional side of the house versus the administrative office professional. So I highlight over here that we're kind of more focused on some heavier accounting, business law, marketing, and economics type courses, which are an option in the administrative office professional to some extent, but not required. Where ours, we're trying to move away maybe from a lot of the technical office-based skills to more of the management and theory, business theory-based skills. And so we really kind of focus on the content and theory-based courses versus the technical skill-based, office-based courses. The other thing I have highlighted here is that the ones in bold, if you were looking to do the transfer program, are also part of this program. And you could, if you decided that, hey, maybe I'm thinking about it, the transfer program, you could take those classes, and then if you decided to transition later to the business professional program, they would still count towards our program. So really, all the ones that are asterisked over here are ones that have the stars by them. These are ones that are kind of dual between the business professional program and the administrative office professional program. So if you're kind of starting the program and hesitant of, I don't know which one I would like to do, there is the option to go ahead and take classes that are going to count towards both programs. And later on, as you kind of decide which classes are being most useful to you, or which ones are going to benefit you most in your workplace, you can make that decision after your first semester or second semester and still be on track, not be left behind with classes that aren't going to be useful to you. The last thing that I highlight on this page is the ones that I have OC. These are ones that I say are available on campus. And because our program, unlike the administrative office professional program, is still trying to bring as many of our students to the Belmont campus here as possible. And yes, they are still available live online or fully online. So it's not that they're not an option remotely. It's just the fact that we do offer these in person, and that if you are a student that, I know you're in Waterloo, so you're probably not going to commute down, but if you were looking at moving down here or something and looking to take those classes in person, that option is out there for you. So a lot of, especially the second year of our program, is almost fully available on campus. So just wanted to highlight those things for you. Another thing I wanted to let you know is that these are the kind of skills that our program expects that you will walk away with at the end of the program. And you're going to kind of see how the classes line up with each of these types of outcomes that we're expecting. We expect our students to be able to create professional business documents, to be able to deliver presentations effectively, and have good business communication skills, use technology within the workplace and be able to integrate that so that they can do their job most efficiently and professionally, be able to look at financial statements and understand them, maybe get some budgeting skills and some basic accounting skills in there, explain how management works and how the different functions that managers have to accomplish in the workplace. When it comes to stakeholder management, understanding how to be an ethical decision maker, and understanding how all of the people, the stakeholders within our organization are important and need to be taken into consideration when decisions are made. Applying marketing theories and research techniques so that we can create good marketing plans for our organization, articulate how the business and society and government are related through economics and through business law, looking at our ethical and social responsibilities to each other, to the business world, to the community, and understanding how this is continuing to change and how the world is continuing to change, and the expectations that businesses are held to are continually changing. And then also understanding your personal skills at the end of the program and where you fit in, how, if you're looking for a new job, where you feel that your strongest suits are, where your interests are, and being able to look to your professional future. And the last slide I have for you then is, hey, what are some of the jobs that might be an option for me at the end of this program? And this is just a short list, but ones that came to mind as I was putting this together. You could maybe find yourself in the banking world, being a relationship banker, handling mortgages and being a mortgage broker, those types of things, sales supervisors, shift supervisors, retail sales managers, customer service specialist, being a purchasing agent, store manager, human resources specialist, or administrative assistant or secretary type positions. Even though the administrative office professional program is more based towards that program, ours would still help you prepare for that if that's the route that you were planning on going in the future. But this list is not all inclusive, just a short list. And as you're going to see here, you see a lot of supervisor, manager, specialist type titles on this. And that's what this program is really prepared to do, is take you from where it might be an entry level position and help you move up the career ladder a bit and move on to those next levels and prepare you to move into those supervisory roles, those manager roles, and have the skill set that it takes to be successful in those positions. So that's the last of what I had prepared for you. Now I would like to just, now that you've heard the business professional program presentation and the administrative office professional program presentation, what questions do you still have, Andrea, that we can specifically address and maybe help you decide which program's right for you, or just address any lingering questions that you might have?
Thank you, Chris. I think with the business professional AAS, it's at this point, I think it's important for me to kind of get those tools that I need to kind of push me forward, because I've worked in the same area and I'm kind of switching gears here. Some of those skills are transferable while some of them are not. And then the skills that I do need, the tools that I do need, I've tried, to kind of do this by myself and do self-learning and that kind of thing. I have a very entrepreneurial mindset and I just want to try to do what I can do. But these are things that I keep having to come back for. I have to kind of look backwards. And once I start working with Havenly, which is kind of the company that I would love to work for. I know I'm open to other companies. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm very much open to other companies, but I also want to make sure that I have those tools, those skills. And like you said, there's not really a career that's in demand that doesn't require you to have these tools. So I've got to get them no matter what I decide to do.
And I really would place emphasis, as you said, Andrew, that you're a non-traditional student, and that as you're learning these skills, you're going to see how they're applied in the real world, and be able to integrate that learning into that educational, your past experience into that educational environment. And that's just going to be an extra layer of how important what you're learning is going to be to you, because you're going to really see that strength of how is this important, and how is this actually, where have I seen other people use it, and how am I going to hope to use this, or where have I seen people maybe not act this way in the business world, that I've seen how it could be done poorly. Now I know I have other ways of doing things in a better or different way. Are there specific things, Andrea, that you wonder about the program, if there's certain skills or things that you're hoping to take away from it that you have questions about? Or I know you said you've already been looking at it for about 6 months, so you're pretty familiar with a lot of it. But are there specific things that you would like us to help you clarify whether or not they're in part of the program?
I don't think so. I'm at this point, I'm ready. I don't know if I've applied. I think at one point I did apply to EICC, but I'm not sure if I kind of finished that, finalized it or not. But my concern more now is just, I don't want to take out loans. I will if I have to, but I don't want to run into that. It's kind of a rabbit hole. And so I'm wondering what that looks like as far as finances. So how do I pay for the program, and what things are available for me to actually get this education?
So I'm sorry, excuse me, Andrea, I just had a quick question. I thought of this when you were talking about that you're currently at your employer, have you checked with them to see if they offer any tuition reimbursement?
Yeah, I've not started working with Havenly. I want to, but I
Got
don't
it.
want to um I want to have those skills first. I want to kind of
Sure,
start, and it
sure.
looks like the beginning of the program just kind of covers a lot of those basics that I
Sure,
really need.
sure. I was just curious, and I apologize. I thought you were already working with the company, but so these programs that Tina and Chris have shared with you, we have something called the Last Dollar Scholarship. After you, so I can send you a checklist. If you share your email with me in the chat, I can send you a checklist, and it's really nice to have because it basically is going to walk you through the process. You apply. Next thing you're going to do is do that FAFSA, that free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. And that FAFSA is required to be filed to be considered for this Last Dollar Scholarship. Last Dollar Scholarship is a program that, depending on what you do for your financial aid, I will email that to you. Thank you for sending that. But we have several programs. There's 23 programs that are part of this Last Dollar. It's throughout various states. And these programs are part of, the business professional is part of that, that you could qualify. So what it does is basically takes a look at what you would qualify for financial aid. And then if there's remaining, this Last Dollar Scholarship. Now, it does only cover tuition, but this is a program that there's not a lot of extra. Yeah, the books might be, but the books and the whatever else the extras are in part of these programs is going to be very minimal compared to the bulk of it, which is going to be your tuition costs, right? Go ahead, Chris. You have something to add?
I was just going to say that your advisors can definitely help you with understanding the different scholarships options that we have here. Our foundation offers a number of different scholarships that you could find yourself eligible for. And so filling out that application and working with your advisor once you kind of apply for the program and start working with that advisor would be something that I recommend. The FAFSA, again, is also something that is generally required, because not only can it help you see if you're eligible for loans, but sometimes there's grants and other things out there that you might have eligibility for. The other thing is you can take the classes at your own pace. You don't have to necessarily sign up for a full semester's worth of classes and be a full-time student. Even though I oftentimes encourage students to kind of find themselves immersing it themselves so that they feel like that they are a student and that their education while they're doing it is a priority, so they don't kind of just say, oh, I've got this one class I'm ignoring. It doesn't mean you have to take on more than you can, either time-wise or financially. So if you wanted to start by just taking a class or two and see how it goes for you, and finding yourself maybe in a better financial position of just taking a little bit at a time, that's always an option as well. And there's no kind of getting left behind. We're offering, but most of the classes are available most semesters in one form or another. So you're always going to be able to find the classes that you need to be able to complete the program. So taking it at your own pace, working with your advisor, applying for those foundation scholarships. And also there's always the external scholarships. I know that can be a bit of a pain, but always keeping an eye open to local community scholarships, or if there's other nonprofits that you might be a part of around the community. Some of them even have their own scholarships that they offer to their members and to the community as a whole. So there's kind of that combination between the various programs that we have, taking it at your own pace, and also keeping an eye open for those things that are external to Scott. I don't know if that helped, Andrea, but your advisor, once you start that conversation with them, will really be able to be that kind of even handhold you through that process and guide you, at least with what we have here at Scott, and make sure that you've at least applied for everything that you might be eligible for.
Yeah. And the last thing, like Chris said, just to reiterate that, you get connected with Liz, the advisor. She's going to walk you through what works best with your schedule. So the last thing we want to do is get you signed up for a full-time load if you're working and then you're overwhelmed and not going to be successful. I mean, if you start with 2 classes, that's absolutely perfect to get that time management down with homework and classes and work and life and all those other things that you're juggling. It's an adjustment. So I always tell people everybody's schedule is completely different from everybody else. If Chris signs up and he's doing 15, that's great, but I'm doing 6, like 2 classes is plenty for me. So it's just going to vary from one person to the next. And just as Chris just shared, then Liz, your advisor, can work with you to pick out the classes in the schedule that work, whether it's full-time, part-time. You can still get assistance being a part-time student. So don't let that, discourage you. There are plenty of great options and opportunities out there. And as he said, excellent grants, excellent scholarships, both inside the college and outside, and really great stuff that are out there to help support you and moving forward now making this decision to become a student with us. So don't let that worry or, trouble you in any way. That's not a barrier. We can work with you and help you with those steps moving forward to assist you with the cost and whatnot.
And as I said, on the academic side, Andrea, that our instructors all understand that the lives of our students are complex. And if you communicate with us, we will work with you on the academic side all that we can to, in a financial way, that it's part of the financial equation. That is, if you are successful in your classes and only ever have to take them once and not drop them and things like that, that's definitely a good financial outcome as well. So our instructors, if you're worried about your success in the classes, we are here to help you. If you utilize us, we will work with you to the best of our ability to make sure that you are successful in our classes.
Yeah.
Well, that all sounds great.
Go ahead, Andrea. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, this is very informative. I did get what I think I came to get. I wasn't actually for sure what to expect from the presentation, but I just want to say that it's even though it's not face to face or it's not in person, physical person, it helps with just making the decision, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a certificate or, I wasn't sure. And what I want to do, I've made a decision. Business professional AAS, it just makes sense, but just to kind of follow the timeline that's there. It's set up like I've learned, even like with time comes a little knowledge, understanding, experience.
Absolutely.
I've learned that when you lay something out in a certain way, it's because you've done the work, people have made the mistakes, and you don't have to. So let's just kind of not reinvent the wheel at this point, especially because I'm 45 and what I don't have to think about, I won't. So because there's just so much more going in. And like I said, with the programs, that's really what I need to I need to get a hone on that. And, that PowerPoint, Excel, even Outlook is different from when I first started using it.
Very true.
So I want to be able to do that and to provide for whatever company, because I am 45, I'm coming in at a late age, I'm competing with younger students, and I know this. And so when I've decided to take the AAS because I know it's just kind of going to fuel me a little bit, where I don't have to kind of end up somewhere in entry level for more than 2 years, because I don't know how I'll be able to take that.
And I think that mindset is great, Andrea. You're looking at it from the best of both worlds. You're looking at doing it from, yes, your goal in the end is to complete the 2-year program. But if you follow as it's laid out, like you said, and you decide that you're not going to be able to make it there, at least not in the time frame that you were hoping, you'll knock out the certificate, you'll knock out the diploma. And so if you follow it, like you just said, kind of on the way it's laid out, you're going to be able to still accomplish those things as you go as well. So I think it's great to look at it from that perspective, that you've got the end goal of the 2-year degree, and hopefully that's where you'll get, but also you're not wasting your time if you follow the path as it's kind of laid out like that. So I think, yeah, I'm glad that you were able to kind of see how the two tie together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, you've got all of our information. I appreciate you hanging out with us for both sessions. Sounds like you got lots of good information, which we're grateful for. But like I said, when we get off the Zoom here, I will email you that checklist. And that will be really helpful as far as a visual of walking you through the steps for getting started and moving forward. And then, like I said, you've got Chris's info, you've got Tina's, you've got Liz's, you've got mine. We're all here to help you and answer questions as you move forward in the process. So really appreciate you hanging out and spending the last hour with us. It's been great talking with you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to seeing and getting to know all of you, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we look forward to having you here at EICC. So have a great afternoon.
Awesome.
You as
Thank you,
well.
Andrea.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Thanks,
Okay,
Chris.
take
Thanks,
care.
Em.
Bye-bye.
Bye.